Welcome everyone to the call. We're so excited to have you, and we are excited to have Katie Brown with us. She is absolutely one of our faves as far as training, and we're excited to be training on our new presentation, Healthy Living Inside and Out. So, Katie, I'm super excited to have you. Thank you for doing this, and I'm just going to hand it over to you about Hostess Coaching. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us. I know it might have been a little bit challenging to get back on the schedule, but I'm so glad that you're all here this morning to talk about this really important topic of booking presentations and hostess coaching. And Deb, thank you for that introduction. And I'm really excited to kick off this series because this is actually the first call in a series of 4 that your VPs are going to be doing about the different kind of breaking down the presentation and the different skill sets that it takes to book and coach and present and close and follow up on a successful presentation. So we're really, really excited to be doing this with you. And as always, it's an honor to train with you guys. So really excited to talk about this tonight. So let's get started. Let's talk about, before we get into the how for booking, let's really talk about the why. And I want to ask everybody a question. And I want you to think about your answer, and it's okay if your answer doesn't end up being the correct one, but I just want to kind of take our pulse and see where everybody is. So I want you to think about what you believe is the purpose of booking and holding group presentations. If some of you were saying to sell products, right? That's a possible answer. But really what I want to tell you from the outset is that that is actually not the number one reason why we host group presentations. The number one reason, far and away, is to help us sponsor new business builders. And if that's a revelation to you, that is okay. You're in good company. But I really want to encourage you, if you have not heard the Linda Parker call series, Let's Go Area, to go back and listen to that. And a while ago, that was posted on King & Company. We would be happy to repost it so everybody can listen to it again, because I know I talked to a few people who, when they heard that, said, oh my gosh, I really didn't think about that. So I want to set up your mindset from the very beginning that the reason we do group presentations is to help us find more business builders. That's the number one reason. The number 2 reason is to help us schedule more group presentations. And the number 3 reason, okay, the third is to sell product. And we know, our former beloved retired president, Rita Davenport, used to joke and say, you guys, that you could take the products, you could mix them up, you could put them on in the wrong order and throw them on your face, and you're still going to get a benefit. Now, we're not encouraging anybody to do that, but the point is, the group presentation is not so much about selling product as it is showing how simple and fun this business can be. So I want us to think about that from the very beginning. And here's another way to think about it. I know that everybody who's on these calls wants to grow to region and nation and executive nation and 6-wide executive nation. What's going to help you to do that? Selling more products or helping more people start their own businesses? I know you guys know it's the latter. So that's what doing more successful group presentations is going to help you to do, okay? So a few more reasons why we do group presentations. And I'll just tell you guys, if you've heard me train on this before, I love groups. So that's why I'm really excited to be sharing this with you, because I have tremendous belief that they can be incredibly effective in your business in many ways. So the first reason we do them, besides helping us sponsor, so I should say the second, is they are just hands down the best way to leverage your time. Even if you are getting in front of 3 or 4 people at once, you guys, isn't that better than getting in front of one, right? Isn't that 400% increase in your results than getting in front of one person at a time? So it's just a great way for busy people or anyone to leverage the time that you're putting into your business. The second reason is that groups really create excitement. And the analogy I always love to give people is, if you went shopping with a few of your friends, do you think that you would buy more clothes or shoes or bags and spend more money if you were with your friends, right? Probably yes, at least if you're like me, because you've got somebody encouraging you and saying, oh yeah, that's really awesome. I love that. Oh, you should totally get that. And the same thing happens in events. There's an excitement and an enthusiasm that occurs. And so you get that when you get more than one person together to share Arbonne. The third way, again, I talked about this at the beginning, groups are great for sponsoring when people have fun and they see that what we do is simple, that gets them excited to take a look at our business, which is our number one goal, okay? And that gives you an opportunity when somebody's having a great time to make a connection and invite them to do an Is Arbonne For You coffee appointment to really learn more about what our business is all about. And then the last reason that I want to share with you, and I love this one, is booking a group presentation with a hostess gets you in front of people that she knows that you don't. And isn't one of our number one goals always to increase our network, right? I want you to think about your business like a spider web, right? So here's you, and here's Tammy, and here's Carla, and here's Deb. And when they're my hostesses, and Deb has 3 of her neighbors, and Carla has 3 of her friends from the gym, and Tammy has 3 moms from school that I don't know, now I've just been introduced to 9, 10, 12 people that are now a part of my network that were not people that I knew previously. So that is such a great part of doing groups as well, as meeting new people that are totally outside of your immediate network. Okay, so now that we've talked about the why, I really want to talk about the how for booking group presentations. And the first thing that you need, I know this will not be a surprise to you guys, but it's critically important, is you need a positive mindset about booking groups, okay? If you think booking comes easily and effortlessly, it will. If you think that groups are fun, they will be. If you think that your hostess will be excited, she will be, okay? If you believe that you can serve your hostess and her friends, or excuse me, host or hostess, serve his or her friends with our incredible business opportunity and our products, then that's exactly what you're going to do. If you think that booking is hard, it's going to feel hard. If you think that no one ever holds presentations and my presentations always cancel, those are probably the results that you're going to experience. So I know that's nothing new because everybody who's committed to being on these calls knows about the importance of mindset, but I just want to reiterate that applies to this part of our business as well. So I love to say a couple of quick affirmations before I sit down to fill up my calendar, and I'd love to share those with you guys now. So you can certainly put your own spin on these, but I really do like to have a little pep talk with myself before I pick up the phone or reach out on Facebook to start messaging people. So here are just a couple things I love to say to get myself in the right mindset. So the first one is, I love to book get-togethers. I love to meet new people. Everyone has so much fun at my groups. Me, my hostess, and their friends. I'm going to share powerful information and serve these people. They are going to love it, and I'm going to hook them up with great discounts. So think about the difference if you kind of had that little pep talk with yourself before you pick up the phone to start reaching out to people, instead of going, oh, my calendar is so empty. I have to get a hold of some people. I hope somebody will do something for me, right? You're bringing that energy and people can feel it 100%. Okay, so the next thing we need, and you guys, I am going to keep going right along because we've got a lot of information to cover today. And please remember, this is going to be recorded, and I'm happy to share my training on King & Company too. So if you don't get everything down, no worries. The second thing that you need is you want to have your calendar ready, right? There's absolutely no point in reaching out to people to ask them to host if you're not prepared to ask them for a date to secure that date in the same call or conversation, ideally, okay? So highlight your open dates on your calendar and be ready to book right there on that phone call or in that conversation. So it's ideal to book a get-together within 2, at the most 3 weeks of when you're asking. So how perfect, because when we're recording this, it's January 10th. So that means that we're asking people between now and, either the 24th or the 31st of the month. Sooner is always better for booking a group presentation, because that way, if there's any reason that your host needs to reschedule or absolutely just all their friends can't make it on that day, which is pretty rare, you have an opportunity to reschedule and still hold it within this month. So for me personally, I like to have a little Post-it note when I'm reaching out to people that has a list of my open dates. So if Rita says, yes, I would love to have a little get together, that sounds really fun, I can say, awesome. Would a weekend or a weeknight work best? I've got, this Thursday, or next Thursday, the 18th, or I've got next Saturday, the 20th. Which one's better for you? So I'll get to the ask in just a minute, but you want to have your calendar ready so that you can ask your hostess about your open dates and which one would work for her right there. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the ask. And I know we all love verbiage, so I am going to share some verbiage, but I really do want to emphasize that this is more about the attitude that you bring to this. And if you make it light and fun, and you communicate to your hostess that it's going to be host or hostess, that it's going to be very little work on their part, I think that's what really gets people excited and thinks, you know what, I know I love Arbonne and I love Rita, so I would love to host a little get together. So here's just an example of something that you might say when you're asking. Okay. Hey, Jill, it's Katie. Do you have a quick minute? Right? I always like to emphasize that I'm going to be fast and respect their time. Okay, great. I'm reaching out because I know that I have a business with Arbonne, or I've just started a business with Arbonne, which has incredible plant-based health and wellness products. I'm really excited because I started the business to be able to stay home with my kids or retire myself, retire my spouse, create financial freedom. A very quick little snippet of your why, not the whole thing, okay? And in order to do that, I need to share Arbonne with some new people. I thought of you because you've always been so friendly or kind or supportive of me. And getting a few friends together is really so easy. We call it a U+2, where you invite 4 to 6 friends to come over for me to pamper you and share these products. And as a thank you, I get to spoil you with a free gift and a shopping spree at my discount. I even bring the healthy treats, so there's no work for you to do. What I want to know is, if I were to come and share these products and give you and a few of your friends a fun time together, would you be open to getting a few people together? It would mean the world to me to meet some new people that you know that I don't. So the reason I love to ask like that, I let them know really quickly, I'm not going to take a long time. I gave them just a quick little snippet about why I'm doing this business, because you guys, I was looking at Cecilia's training on her website, and she shares, we have to let people know our why, right? If people don't know that there's anything on the line, it might be a little bit harder for them to say, gosh, I don't know, am I going to invite people over? Am I going to ask my friends to come over? But if you say, I'm doing this to create financial freedom, I'm doing this to help my family get out of debt, I'm doing this to because I'm so passionate about helping people get healthy, and I know that that's something we all really need, that compels people and gives them an emotional motivation. I also like to let them know, you heard me say a few times, it's simple, it's fun, it's no work for them. And one last thing I want to share about that. I do not go into detail when I'm asking somebody to book about our hostess program. As awesome as our host benefits are, you guys, people get overwhelmed. If you didn't know what Arbonne was, would it mean anything to you if I said, oh my God, Deb, you get $750 for $375? They're like, what? So what's more important is just to let them know you're going to bring them a gift, and I'll get to that in a minute and what that might be, and that they're going to get a shopping spree. So it's just letting them know that there's an extra incentive and that you're really going to spoil them and thank them for making the time to have a few friends over. Okay? Pardon me. So after you ask, now is the all-important time when you stop talking. We have to stop talking. We have to let our host respond. And, it's not uncommon that they may have a question or a hesitation before they say yes. So the most common ones might be something like, oh, everybody's so busy, or I don't know if this is something that my friends would be into. Now, we can do a whole other training on helping people to work through their objections, but I just want to let you know that's normal, and I want you to be prepared to help people address those concerns with something like, Mary, I don't know of anyone who doesn't want to get more energy or know how to look and feel their best using a product that's safe. If I could show your friends how easy these products are to use and share some testimonials about the results people are experiencing, would you be open to getting a few friends together? So again, we're not going to go into great detail about objections on this call, but I want you to know that that's normal, and that sometimes we just have to let people know we are going to guide this process, and we are professionals, right? We are the Arbonne professionals, and that we're going to help their friends to see how awesome Arbonne is. And we know that once we get in front of people, they absolutely love what they learn. Okay, so then we want to book the date. We want to confirm that date right there on the phone. Super important, but I know sometimes when we get excited, we may forget. We really want to thank our host right there and then. Thank you, Deb, so much. This is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to take care of everything. It really means the world to me to have your support, or to be doing this with you. I've heard ENVP Shelley Nelson say, you just can't overthank your hostess, because you guys, we do know everybody's busy, right? And when we let them know that they're appreciated, that really makes them feel like they're glad that they went a little bit out of their way to support us and get some people together. Okay, so really quickly addressing the issue of a gift for your host. So I know that everybody on this call might be in a different place in their business, and I want to encourage you, when you offer your host a free gift, it could be as simple as maybe a beautifully wrapped RE9 sample and a fizz stick and a detox tea, right? Something that costs you just a few dollars, but you put it in a pretty little bag, you put a bow on it, and that's your gift for your host. Pardon me. On the other hand, if you really are committed to filling your calendar, maybe you're in a place in your business where you've really got to get in front of some new people to move forward, don't be afraid to sweeten the deal, right? I have given away an RE9 firming body cream or an RE9 cellular renewal mask if I had somebody that I really knew had a great network of people that I wanted to get in front of. So that is up to you, and we trust you, and it's up to your discretion. But I want you to keep in mind, if you're committed to your business and getting in front of new people, sometimes we do have to give away the farm a little bit to help us get in front of those new people. Okay, so now we have booked our presentation. Yay! And now we're going to talk about hostess coaching, right? And this is a critical step to ensuring optimal success from your group presentation. I really want us all to think of our host or hostess as our partner in success. And if we approach it that way from the very beginning, we're really going to be working with this person in a different way than if we think, okay, I booked Rita's party, probably not going to talk to her for 2 weeks till that party. I'm just going to show up that night and it's going to be great, right? Please don't hesitate to communicate with your host because you're worried that something might happen, right? That's when we're coming from a scarcity mindset and, oh, maybe if I call her, she's going to say that only 1 or 2 people is coming. We're going to address that in just a minute. But I really want you to know, so many independent consultants start out as hosts or hostesses, and having them get friends together, you're having the opportunity to basically give them a preview of what it would look like for them to start their own business. So they are your partner in success. And as you're working with them, again, I really want to encourage you to have fun. I just can't say that enough, because when we show people that this business is fun and exciting and simple, in the best case scenario, you're going to have a new business partner, and at the very least, you're going to have a happy host who is making your job easy, helping you sponsor people, schedule more presentations, and sell product because she is having a great time, okay? So most people we know are doing jobs that are not fun. Our job is really, really fun. It's not even a job, right? Our business. So we have the chance to showcase that from the very beginning. Okay, so what are the first steps we want to take after we book this presentation in coaching our host? The first thing is to immediately send a thank you note. I know that paper thank you notes are sometimes thought of as very antiquated, but I think they really have a lot of impact. It's really easy to pick up an inexpensive and cute package of thank you notes, at pretty much any discount store, no matter where you are. I like to keep a package in my car, and I also keep a package in my bag, so I always have them with me, just jotting off a quick little note like, "Dear Tammy, thanks so much for booking your presentation on the 20th. Can't wait to be with you and your friends. I'll be in touch soon about getting you your pamper basket. Thanks so much, Katie." If you don't want to do paper notes, Red Stamp, which I think is an app a lot of us are familiar with from making invitations, also has cards on there where you can jot off a quick little text. So if you really are a much more digitally minded person, or you think your host is, you can do it that way, but definitely something to acknowledge your hostess right off the bat. It lets her know that you're appreciative, but it also helps to reconfirm, like, oh, that's right. Okay, the 20th. I got to start telling people about that. I want to tell my friends at yoga or my neighbors about it right away. So you're putting that in the front of her mind. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, and I like to do this as soon as the conversation ends, is to immediately create the invitation. Again, so that we're giving that right to our host, and they, while it's top of mind, can start thinking of people that they would like to invite. So on our team, we really love to use Red Stamp invitations. I just feel like most people are pretty comfortable having things on their phone or having it on Facebook Messenger. So I like to just create a cute red stamp. I think you guys are all familiar with that. There are awesome templates for Arbonne already on there. If you're not familiar with that, please let your VP or upline know, or I'm happy to share some examples, but that's a great tool that makes it really easy and it's free. So I text that to my hostess and say something like, "Thanks, Mary, so much for booking a get-together. I know we're going to have a great time. Here's a cute text invite." Okay, maybe you guys don't want to say that, but you guys, here's a text invite that you can send to your friends to give them the details. About a week beforehand, I will be in touch to see how RSVPs are going. Thanks again, and I will be in touch about bringing you some great products to test drive before your presentation. So a couple quick notes that I want to clarify, things that I've seen done in a way that I don't think give you great results. We just want to make sure that our host knows that they want to be inviting people one-on-one. We do not want people posting this on their Facebook wall right? And saying, party at my house, and they've invited all 987 of their Facebook friends. That's very generic. It's not personal. It's just really not very effective in getting people to come. So we just want to make sure our host knows that we want them to be individually inviting the people that they would like to have there. So that's really important. So just clarifying, they should be inviting people directly by texting them, or they could Facebook message the invite, but not putting it on their wall and just putting it open to the whole world. Okay. The next step is about a week before the presentation, we do want to touch base with our host to ask how RSVPs are going. So this is another opportunity to reiterate our excitement and let them know that this is going to be a super fun day. If the RSVPs seem low or even non-existent, do not lose hope, okay? This is an opportunity to help our host. So first, asking them who they invited, right? And some of you may be familiar with the acronym FRANK. That stands for friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, and kids, right? So acquaintances may include coworkers, people from your place of worship, your gym. So you want to ask them how many people have RSVP'd. And I know I don't have to tell you all, in this day and age, it's very common for people to not RSVP. So please don't worry if you reach out to your host and she says, oh my gosh, no one's coming. That just means no one has gotten back to me to say whether they're coming or not. So this is just a good opportunity to touch base, let your host know that's not uncommon, and say, hey, why don't we shoot out a quick reminder message to your friends, letting them know about next week. Let them know we're going to have a really great time. They're going to get to try the products, taste them, feel them, and that you're excited for them to be there. For anyone who has RSVP'd, I always encourage the host to ask those people to bring a friend and to let them know that you're going to have a little gift for all of them. Again, you guys, that little gift can be a fizz stick and a detox tea. Okay, this is not about needing to spend too much money on those things, but it sure is nice to let somebody know that you appreciate if they brought a sister, a neighbor, a coworker with them. And I let the host know that, in my opinion, 4 or 5 people is a great number for an Arbonne presentation. This is my opinion and my experience. I don't think 15 people works great. I think small groups where we really get to build relationships and serve people is awesome. So if Priscilla is my host and at this point she says she has 0 people RSVP'd, if I can help her think of 3 to 4 people that she says, oh yeah, you know what, she would definitely come. Can't believe I didn't think of him. He would love this. And we can just do a little brainstorming and connect that way. You can go from what seems like 0 to 4 or 5 easily, which is really a terrific number, okay? The next thing that I want to tell the host in this conversation is that we like to keep our snacks at a presentation really simple, okay? This is not a buffet. We don't want to put out like the hot pans and tacos and pasta. I've seen that. I'm sure some of you have too, right? But this is where it's important, and I want you as a consultant to feel empowered that you want to communicate to your host what is going to work best. We know that it works best when the snacks are simple and they're in line with what we're going to be sharing. So I let them know I am going to bring some delicious protein shakes and fizz sticks, and then if they really want to have additional food, I like to make suggestions like vegetables and hummus, or maybe some simple fruit. Just, you know, some people really do like to put out extra food, or they feel that's part of what they need to do as a host, but I really let them know that I want it to be no work for them and to keep it simple. If they do want to have alcohol, because sometimes people like to have that, they like to have wine or other things when they're having friends over, I highly recommend and I steer my host to have them at the end. And I say something like, I know people want to come and have fun and relax with friends. What I have found works best is to serve that at the end while everyone is shopping and relaxing. Okay, guys, because we don't want people walking in, having a glass of wine and not tasting their fizz sticks and their protein shakes. So I do, again, want to empower you to feel good about communicating that to your host, because you know what's going to give the best outcome, and that's to save that for the end if that's something they want to do. Okay, next thing is to let your host know that you love to start on time. This is something our team knows I really like to emphasize, right? Everybody in this world has a full life. And I think if we can let people know we really like to start on time to respect the host time, the guest time, that encourages the host to communicate to her friends and family. Okay, 7:30, if you want to come a little early to chit chat, come at 7:15, but we're really going to get started at 7:30. So I like to do everything I can to help that happen. And then I tell my host that I will come 30 minutes early to set up, right? That allows us time to come in the door, kind of chat with our hostess and build rapport. And I know Christine's going to be touching on that in next week's call. Can't wait to hear from her on those tips. But letting her know I will come early and set up so that when the guests get there, you are ready to go and you can immediately start welcoming those people and building rapport with them. 2 more things, and then we'll move on to wrapping up here. The next thing is I always let my hosts know that I would love to have a separate area that I can chat with the guests at the end. And I can't emphasize this enough, the importance of having a separate closing area. This is really key because as much as we all, may like to sit and chat with our friends and family, there are going to be people at the presentation who are in very different spaces. You may have somebody who's ready to buy 2 ASVPs, and you may have somebody who would love to get that protein shake, but they're really concerned about where that fits in their budget and they don't know how they're going to do that. If you have a separate area where you can sit with everyone, and you guys, it could be a couch even 10 feet away from everyone else. If it's a separate room, I think that's ideal, like maybe a dining room or a kitchen. But even just an area a little bit separate is great, so that you have a place where you can connect with each person. Again, ask them questions. And Deb and Andrea are going to be doing a great training on how to do the close. So we'll get to that later. But I do let my hostess know that a separate area would be great, just to set that expectation for her so she doesn't, him or her, so they don't feel surprised when I get there and I'm looking for that. Then the very last thing that I do in this conversation is let my host know that I am really excited to either bring them a little basket of products for them to experience, or if they're long distance, I let them know that I've put some samples in the mail for them to try, right? Because a host who is using product, who has a great experience and a great testimonial, is infinitely more powerful than somebody who says, nope, never tried it, don't know what the shakes taste like, don't know what this RE9 stuff is, nope, not sure. Because again, if you've done a fair amount of presentations, you've seen the gamut of hosts that sit there and can give a great, powerful testimonial for you, or somebody who goes, nope, I don't know what it is. Okay, I'll try it now. So everything we can do to get some of our core products in their hands to try ahead of time is great. If they're local and you're able to drop off a little basket, I would highly recommend it. What I like to put in there is a shake packet with instructions about how to make a shake properly. That's key. A fizz stick and a detox tea, and then whatever skincare sample is appropriate for them. So usually RE9 Advanced, or it could be the men's products, or if you know they use or need another line, you can get them those products. And then I would recommend no more than 2 or 3 other favorites. You guys, if we give somebody the catalog, they get overwhelmed and they're not going to use it all. But if you say, oh my gosh, this primer and this mascara is fantastic, or, this Phytosport for after you work out, and this, hand cream is just, these are my favorites. Just keep it really kind of tight and just a few favorites, then you have a better chance for them to use it. And let them know, hey, I'm really excited for you to use these, Tammy, because when your friends are hearing about these products, they're going to want to know what were your favorites. So that's a really key step. Again, if they're long distance and you're doing this on Zoom, or you just can't get to them in person before the presentation, make sure you mail it. Make sure to wrap it nicely, include the directions about how to use the products properly, and just communicate with them to say, did you receive the package? Would be great to have you start using those samples tonight so that you have a few days to experience the products before your presentation. So that's where that communication is really, really key. Okay, so thanks guys for staying with me a few extra minutes. I'm just going to wrap up here and talk about your last conversation before the presentation. And I usually do that the day before. So I touch base with my host to let them know, again, I'm really excited. Make sure that they are using their pamper basket or their samples. Remind them that I will arrive 30 minutes early. If you need to ask any questions about directions or parking, that's a great time to do that. And when you're packing your bags, again, Christine may touch on this next week, but just a little tip, we always want to have 2 bags going in and out, or 1 if you can, but really keep it simple, bringing just the products that you need to present, and then just sort of the paperwork that you need. So your client care forms and your catalogs and all of that. So just keeping things really simple. So when you walk in, it looks like, wow, this is simple and easy and streamlined. So in that last conversation, I'm also going to coach my host to make sure to make personal phone calls or send a reminder text, especially to anybody who has not RSVP'd, to see how many people we can get to join us. And also to encourage them that we can have outside sales. So this is huge, you guys. A lot of times we know that maybe somebody who would be a great guest at a presentation can't come on that date. So let them know, if they say, oh gosh, my friend's sick or their child's sick, they're not gonna be able to make it, to say, no worries, sorry to hear that, would love to send her a virtual catalog, or would love to be in touch to get her or him some samples. ENVP Tracy Gatchell, who's a top income earner under ENVP Linda Parker, I love this story. She was sponsored because her sister went to a presentation. She couldn't go, but her sister said to Linda Parker, my sister is a massage therapist. She would love these products. Would you follow up with her? Linda Parker followed up with her, top income earner in her business, you guys. So don't miss any opportunities, right? Why wouldn't we extend that presentation by saying who couldn't come? And I think that Jill's going to follow up on that in her training as well. But we always want to hit on all angles. And then finally is we want to remember that this presentation is a powerful opportunity to share our business. So since we know the number one purpose of the presentation is to sponsor a business partner, I would highly recommend that you invite your host to either listen to a Discover Arbonne call before the presentation, or now that we have this fantastic group, Discover the Arbonne Lifestyle on Facebook. And if you're not part of that group, please get with your sponsors so that they can help you be a part of that, is to invite your host to listen or watch a quick presentation before to listen or watch a quick recording before your presentation. And you could offer them a little additional gift, which could be a sample or a little mini product. And then don't forget to ask them 4 questions after they listen to the call or watch the recording, which is, what did you like best? What intrigued you most? Who do you know personally that could benefit from the products, the business, or both? And then on a scale of 1 to 10, with 0 being, I never want to hear the word Arbonne again, and 10 being, I'm ready to start my Arbonne business, where do you see yourself? Just to gauge their interest, and that's something that you can always come back to after the presentation. And I know we have other fantastic trainers who are going to be touching on that, but I think that's such a smart opportunity to start planting a seed right away about how this presentation could be the beginning of this host business with their friends. So in sum, here are my final wrap-up takeaways. Booking is a mindset, so be positive and prepared. Know that you will serve and have fun. People are attracted and want to follow someone who's having fun. And then follow each step to ensure frequent communication and many exposures to drip on your host or hostess as a potential consultant. So thanks you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate you being here. I hope those tips were helpful. And Deb, I'll turn it back over to you.
Katie, thank you so much. That was absolutely so thorough. And actually, I had some takeaways there as well. But just reflecting, she went over the why, the how, affirmations for yourself, getting your calendar ready, the ask, loving on your host and partnering with her, and then doing the proper steps to make things happen. And what I loved was the day before, there were some added things, Katie, that I absolutely love there. And I know this is my philosophy as well, Katie, that the more we do up front with excellence, the better the results are. So these were absolutely great reminders. And I know that, we will listen over and over to this. You put a lot of time into this. So thank you so much, Katie. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
And thank you everyone for hanging in there. We went over a little bit because of the issue of getting on, and I appreciate your patience. But thanks for showing up, doing your business with excellence and doing the do, because it matters. It just matters. So thank you. We're excited for this month. Get out there and book some things, and I do it with excellence like Katie shared with us. So have a great day, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.